from Dr. B.R. Ramakrishna, Vice Chancellor, Swami Vivekananda Yoga University, Bangalore. First of all, let me congratulate Indo-Serbia collaboration in understanding the knowledge, the ancient knowledge of India, particularly of yoga and Ayurveda. My dear friends, today the whole world, for that matter, is in a grim state. Many youngsters feel the future is very dark, gloomy, and what is the way for this? This is simply because the COVID-19 pandemic, it is spreading like a wildfire months after months, and its nature, all of you are aware now. It started during November 19, and whole the year 20 was the worst situation all over the world, and people thought that it gets slowly, it disappears. But it has taken another new step. People interpret as second wave. I am sure most of the countries have already faced this second phase, and of late people are waiting and anticipating and getting prepared and geared up to face the third wave. But we do not know when it is going to stop. It is a Nova virus. A virus, the nature of which is yet to be understood completely. We understand one aspect, but it exhibits its nature in the other aspect. You know, we had seen earlier the viral diseases in the form of pandemics. There was plague, and there was SARS group of diseases. But none of the viral disease was as dangerous as the COVID-19. It is because this virus has a very typical nature, which we call it as RNA virus. In the case of DNA virus, the mutations and changing its behavior is minimal or not there. Whereas with regard to this RNA virus, its nature of spreading, its nature of multiplication, and nature of mutation, changing its own nature and behavior is very, very significant. See, all of you have understood through social media and through different communication system how this virus behaves. You know, this virus has multiple spikes. They are like projections, thorn-like projections. The speciality of this virus is each spike, for that matter, has a different nature, and it has totally a very specific proteins. And these proteins are the substances which are responsible to cause a lot of problems when it enters into the system. Multiple spikes, and each spike, for that matter, has a very specific protein bound or a chemical bound, and that causes the problems totally differently. So today, all over the world, people are suffering, the death rate are increasing. According to recent statistics, in the whole world, more than 200 million people are affected. No doubt, about 160 million people have recovered. But the death also is very significant. In India alone, 30 million people are affected, and recovery is about 2.8 millions, and the mortality is about 3,63,000, nearly 4 lakhs people. But how this is controlled, and which are the structure and the parts that are affected in our system? Why this is so dangerous? That you have to understand. It is a particular type of disease, what we call as a SARS disease. That means the virus causes severe acute respiratory syndrome. Severe acute respiratory syndrome. It affects the lungs. You know, in our system, lungs are the most important structure and organ. We have different transplantation procedures today. If the kidney fails, there is a method, they transplant it, or people can live with artificial cleansing. If heart, even further, there are pacemakers are shifted if its function comes down, and only a part of the lungs can be removed, but not the total. It is so vital because lungs are the vital place of prana. That prana, in terms of yoga, it is the bioenergy which is responsible for life activities. You know, life activities: generation, regeneration, excretion, multiplication. All these are life activities. In our system, there is metabolic activity, and there is different conductions, nervous conductions. All these are directly related with our lung functioning. Remember, according to yoga and Ayurveda, human system is not merely a machine. No doubt it works like a machine, but all activities that are happening in our system, you cannot just interpret only for the physical body. It is essentially an integrative manifestation of body, mind, and consciousness. Yoga upholds the theory of Pancha Koshas. That means the human existence is essentially made up of Annamaya Kosha, that is physical body, Pranamaya Kosha, physiological body, Manomaya Kosha, psyche or the mind, Vijnanamaya Kosha, intellect, and Anandamaya Kosha is the consciousness. You know, there is a relationship, there should be a relationship between Annamaya, that is physical, Pranamaya, physiological, Manomaya, psychological, Vijnanamaya, intellectual, and Anandamaya, that is at the level of the consciousness. How this relationship between these structures is established? Prana, what I said as bioenergy, which is equivalent to cosmic energy outside, is the force that is bringing closer, or it is the force that is providing relationship. If the functioning of prana stops, everything stops. No life activities. Therefore, the lungs, which are considered as the abode of prana, is so important. And unfortunately, this SARS disease, that is COVID-19 pandemics, affects the lungs. It kills the lungs. It destroys the lungs. That is why we have to protect at any cost. No doubt, the scientists have already found its mode of spread, how it spreads, and people do say where it has started and other things. I am not going to touch those points now. And already people, the scientific community has given guideline how we can prevent its spread and how a serious stage can be controlled and what are the rehabilitative measures. They have said it already. It is being practiced now. But like other diseases, there is no a specific drug or a proven line of treatment or preventive measure except the vaccine. And no doubt the vaccine is the ultimate for these viral diseases to exit. But for the whole community of the world, it is impossible to provide vaccination in a stipulated time. It takes still time. We are fortunate in India, already 20 crores have been inoculated. And from June 21st, the day of International Day of Yoga, our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has already declared that on every day, 10 million people will be injected, will be given vaccination. It's a great news. It is one of the greatest works of our Honorable Prime Minister. But we have seen also people who have been administered 2 doses of vaccination, the cases are happening. Still, they are getting exposed, and we have seen the cases. But fortunately, the cases are not serious. Those people who have been vaccinated, even if they develop COVID-19, it is not that serious. According to recent report, the death rate is only 0.0, something very, very small percentage of people, and nobody has been, admitted to ICU. There is a report in Bangalore. There is a very big institution called Narayan Hridayalaya. Its director, Dr. Devi Shetty, he has given a press note just 3 days back that the people who are vaccinated, if they get the problem, again, just they are manageable, and many of them, they are asymptomatic. Without any symptoms, they come and they go, even with comorbidities like diabetes and hypertension. It means for this Nova virus, which is of RNA related, the only solution is vaccination. But why people after taking vaccination also getting problem? It is, as I told you earlier, the different variants, the different the virus, it assumes different forms, and the altered forms still cause problem. According to the recent, there are about 25-30 variants. But our vaccination, whatever, it may be Covishield or Covaxin or some other brands, they are providing a very significant degree of immunity. But now the question is, people who have suffered with COVID-19, they are showing some complications, some new complaints. Because during the management of COVID, invariably the people are being administered with high dose of steroids, cortisone, high dose of antiviral drugs, and now a new problem, black fungus. So like that, the COVID is only, it is not only one, it has brought many along with it. So in all these stages of management, should we just wait till the vaccination is completed to everybody? Or our aim and objective is only to see that the COVID-19 is prevented? It is not like that. Now this is a brim stage. We have to check, we have to control, we have to prevent COVID-19, and we should develop such a resistance, such an immunity by which we can control many more diseases. Today it may be COVID-19, or you should say now already 20 with a different variant, and next year COVID-22, 23 are similar problems. So what is the solution for that? The solution lies within ourselves. Remember, if you are having good immunity, what we call it as Vyadhi Kshamatva or Roga Nirodhaka Shakti. That means the strength to fight against the disease. No disease can come nearby you. Today, the COVID-19 is a present day problem. But just to look into the problems that are being faced by the whole world, thanks to the modern system of medicine, very powerful antibiotics have been explored, and many infections they are able to control by using antibiotics. And the modern science is capable of conducting more than 5,000 types of different surgeries. Surgical problems are very meaningfully, successfully controlled. The modern system of medicine using more than 35-40,000 chemicals in different forms to make medicines. And it has all the equipments to identify, diagnose, and to prove. It's good, thanks. But at the same time, what about the non-communicable diseases? Today, the problem of the world is, keep the pandemics aside. One thing we will address that. The non-communicable diseases today are related to our lifestyle. Non-communicable diseases are related to stress. What are these? Look at hypertension, diabetes, sleep disorders, anxiety, depression, psychiatric problems, skin diseases, allergies, autoimmune diseases, degenerative diseases. Where is the solution? Once you are a patient of diabetes, you have to take lifelong treatment. When you are a patient of hypertension, you have to take treatment. Why this is? We, as a scientific community, we are able to do many things. But why not this? It is simply because the modern system of medicine is yet to understand this human system in totality. It has understood a part of it. What is the part? That part is physical body. But remember, all these non-communicable diseases, for that matter, they take their birth at the mind level. Then they percolate to body. And it disturbs intellect. Finally, it disturbs the whole system. But the root is here. We call it as Adhi. Adhi becomes Vyadhi. When you have not understood what is mind, what is its nature, what is its structure, how it functions, how can we understand the disease connected to it? It is simply because the modern system's approach is called as matter-based approach. It thinks that this human system is completely made out of matter. What is that matter? You know that it is made out of cells. Cells make tissues. Tissues make organs. Organs make system. Finally, it is the chemicals which are different nature. Finally, this structure is framed out. And we are alive as long as these chemical actions and reactions are taking place in the system. Is it real? No. And its approach is reductionistic approach. It do not believe in totalistic approach. Matter-based, reductionistic, and the theory of probabilities. Whereas, here comes the importance of yoga and Ayurveda, which are totally knowledge-based approach. They have holistic approach, conscious-based approach, and totalistic approach. Yoga and Ayurveda considers this human system as a single unit where the physical, physiological, psychological, intellectual, and spiritual dimensions invariably are present. Therefore, if we do not understand the human system in totality, our understanding the disease also becomes futile. That is the major difference between the modern approach and the ancient approach. Today, the non-communicable diseases, whatever I mentioned, for them there is an answer, there is a solution in the Indian thinking through Ayurveda, yoga, and other systems of medicine. And there are some lacunas or limitations too. The modern system excels in managing emergencies, medical emergencies, controlling infections. Yes, we will accept the best of the East and best of the West. That's what Swami Vivekananda has told. The West is known for science, technology. The East is known for spirituality, tradition, culture, and values. If you can integrate both these, definitely there will be a good solution for the whole community. In this direction, let us understand the COVID-19. No doubt there are precautions, guidelines being issued by World Health Organization and all the governments of different countries, federal system. They have been issuing from time to time periodically the changed precautions and everything. The one is most important thing is SMS. What is that SMS? S for social distance. M for using the mask. S for sanitization. That is compulsory because its mode of spread is through oral cavity and the nasal cavity. And if you are able to protect yourself by using proper mask, the risk of getting exposed to COVID becomes minimal. But is only that sufficient? Yeah. Number one, to protect ourselves and to protect others. That is sufficient. But in the given scenario, as the theories are changing, we have to prepare our body to fight against the disease, to face the disease within our system. How we have to do it? We have to enhance our immune system. We have to activate our immune system. We have to sensitize our lungs, the most vital part which is getting affected by this COVID-19. How can you do it? Can you do it just by taking a pill? That has not been possible. For that matter, any disease or COVID-19, we will have to follow proper lifestyle. If you follow proper lifestyle, naturally, automatically, your immune system gets activated and you will be fit enough to fight not only COVID-19 and many diseases, many problems. What is lifestyle? Lifestyle essentially comprises of 5. The 5 are, the first one is food and drinks. We call it as ahara. Second one, our practices and habits, which we call it as vihara. Third one is vichara. Vichara is our thoughts. Fourth one is achara. Achara means our routine practices, our daily regimens. From morning to evening, we practice, that is our achara. And the fifth one is vyavahara. Vyavahara is our profession or our occupation, how we are engaged in our duties. These are the 5 important components of lifestyle. It has been said in Bhagavad Gita, Yuktahara viharascha yukta chesta sukarmani yukta swapnava bodhascha yogo bhavati dukkhaha. It means, yukta means balanced or proper. Proper food habits, food and drinks, habits and practices, good thoughts, and good systematic regimens, and finally a profession which is constructive, which is positive. All these put together contribute for lifestyle. If one practices lifestyle by giving due importance to all these components, why only COVID? Any diseases can be totally prevented, even if the disease enters, it takes shelter in your system, there won't be serious problem because your body is well prepared and equipped to face the problems. Let us see one after the other. How should be our food habits, food and drinks? Yeah, number 1, it is known to everyone. Everyone should take a balanced diet. The balanced diet should contain all the required nutrients for your system. It means it should have sufficient quantity and the percentage of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, trace elements, micronutrients, water, roughages. If these are there, definitely it becomes a balanced diet. But region-wise, area wise, season wise, the source of it keeps on changing. Nowadays, there is a pattern among the people. There is a thought also in the people's mind that the food that is brought from outside. In India, we feel that some people feel that the fruits which are brought from Australia, New Zealand is good, or Africa it is good. It is not like that. You are accustomed to the food that grows around you. You must eat, you must consume the food that grows within your state, within your place. Vegetables, fruits, dry fruits, nuts, seeds, oils, whatever for that matter, that is available within your nature, within your country, within your place. That is the best. See, the nature has given us all the gift for us which are available within around surroundings, and there is no need to pay more for an imported thing and eat. For example, oil. In India, we don't have cultivation of olive oil. But some people do it. It is not necessary. India is known for groundnut oil, sesame oil, sunflower oil. If that is used, that is sufficient. Similarly, the vegetables. The Indians, we are not known for broccoli, but no need to get broccoli from other states and use it. Similarly, in whatever available in Serbia, you identify, use only that in sufficient quantity. That is more than sufficient. That is very, very important. And secondly, you must know that the quality of food, whatever you eat, that is useful not only to nurture your body, the same food even nurtures your mind and your thoughts. If you take balanced, good, clean food, it not only nurtures your body, it nurtures your mind too. Therefore, we have to give importance to the quality and the quantity of food, and while consuming food also you should respect the timings. It is not that we eat frequently or we fast too much. No, whenever there is a need, minimum 3 hours. Whenever you eat little food, under 3 hours you are not supposed to eat, and you are not supposed to fast more than 6 hours. So these are the basic things that we have to follow. And use of ghee, use of milk, cow products, they are all very good, rich of proteins. And those who are accustomed to non-vegetarian food, they can use it. Absolutely, there is no problem. Use of eggs and other things. But during COVID scenario, it is better we have to use nutritive and warm food. The food that is kept in the refrigerator, under refrigerator, I mean, they are not that good, because respiratory diseases are prone to develop more when we expose ourselves to cold food, cold atmosphere, cold weather, like that, because the lungs, they catch the cold early. And coming to our, and a few more things here we recommend. Use hot water or warm water frequently. That is very good. And if you have the habit of taking alcohol, that should be reduced. Only minimal quantity depending upon the weather conditions or your practice. And the sufficient quantity of the spices. The spices play an important role. India is known for spices. We use spices like ginger, curcuma, cumin, clove, cinnamon, garlic. We use plenty. But these are very good. These are antioxidants and they activate our system. And especially these spices, they sensitize our lungs. And next, coming to our habits and practices. What type of habits we should have? Number one, every day you should see that our body is warmed up. You have to warm up. Why this is required? You know, lymphatic glands are located here in the throat, in the armpits, in the groin. The lymph nodes are there. These lymph nodes are the one which virtually produce the fighters, the fighting blood cells, lymphocytes, and very specific cells to kick off the virus. And if you activate with dynamic exercise, some yoga postures, micro exercise, definitely our lymphatic channel, lymphatic system, we will make it alert. When there is an infection, virtually the lymphatic system comes into the fighting place, and it can really protect us. And practicing yoga, beyond doubt, it has been proved that yoga postures, because when we rest, the body goes into stiffness, the body goes into a state of rigidity. We develop a lot of inertia. You have to overcome that inertia by jogging, by cycling, by jumping, by skiing, by mountaineering, by horse riding, by swimming, whatever for that matter. These are good habits. But remember, when you practice yoga, you will focus on your breath. You will focus on your posture, that is the body movements, and you develop a lot of awareness. In every practice of yoga, there is body movement or body posture, breathing, breath regulation, and awareness. You won't get this all these three in any of the sports pattern. Therefore, practicing asanas which are very specific. For example, we have Bhujangasana, cobra posture. We have tiger breathing, lion breathing, rabbit breathing, bow posture, bridge posture. Okay, so like that, there are very specific asanas to activate the lungs. We have to activate the lungs, we have to sensitize the lungs, because this SARS virus COVID-19 affects the lungs. If the lungs are sensitized, if it is strengthened, the viral multiplication is very less, and it cannot damage your lungs. Therefore, asana pranayama plays an important role in our practice. And as I said, other type of exercises also you can do it. And secondly, when we talk about these things, also you should keep it in mind, every day minimum 8 to 10 hours of rest is required for a person who works 10 hours. Otherwise 6 to 8 hours. If you are a practitioner of yoga, even 5 to 6 hours is sufficient. So that much of sleep you should have, because during sleep you conserve a lot of energy. Conservation of energy is equivalent to production of energy. So when you conserve, automatically you will have a lot of strength and immunity. But too much of sleep is also to be avoided, and daytime sleep should be avoided, because it causes a lot of lethargy, and that lethargy condition increases secretions in our respiratory tract. And when there is more secretion than the normal, any infection for that matter, including bacterial and the viral, can catch up, and it can lead to problems. And oil bath massage. When you do massage, by application of oil and giving a smooth rubbing, that activates every cells for that matter. Even the lymphatic system is activated. That alerts, that makes your system sensitive. That is also very, very useful. Coming to our thoughts, what type of thoughts you should have? You should have total faith in your system of practice of medicine. And you should have confidence in your government, in your vaccine, and in the precaution that is being given. You cannot doubt. If you start doubting, it means you are a man with negative thoughts, and negative thoughts will never contribute for your immunity. Only positive thoughts. Even if you are affected with COVID, nothing will happen. All people coughing, they are not COVID. And all people writing few lines, it will not become a marvelous, a very good poet or a poem. It will not become a very good poem. Therefore, remember, our thoughts should be very positive, and there can never be negative. And the positive mind, it can trigger, activate our immune system. Suppose you start going out from the home to drive. If you just assume yourself and think that I will get into an accident today, definitely you will have an accident. You should never think of negativity, and you can develop that positive mind by meditation, dhyana. Sit for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, morning, afternoon, night, and meditate, focus on your breath, go into deeper and deeper state of silence, and that gives you a lot of energy. Remember, you will get energy not only by food. Food is a source of energy. Secondly, your breathing is a source of energy. Third one, your calm state of mind is a good source of energy, and a good environment and a company is a good source of energy. Therefore, by meditating, by going into deeper and deeper state of silence with total awareness, you develop lot of immunity against all diseases, for that matter, not only for COVID-19. And next is what is called as our daily regimens. How we should be. Nowadays, people's attitude everywhere is late to bed and late to rise. No, you must practice the earlier method of early to bed and early to rise, because early morning, when you get yourself exposed, what happens? The ultraviolet rays from the sun rise. It helps to kill the virus. It helps to activate the whole system. It helps to synthesize vitamin D on your skin. So all these things are very useful. And similarly, very systematic practice from morning to evening. Little time for spiritual activity. When you engage yourself with spiritual activity by performing some rituals, it makes you with more full of confidence. When you are with full of confidence, no disease can come nearby you. You can solve it, anything for that matter. And then everything should be systematic. You cannot do something like hatchpots. When you say, when you do, it should be in an order. And that is called your daily regimens, for that matter. Get up early, attend to your nature calls, take your breakfast on time, attend to your work, take your lunch on time, give a break, take rest, and go for some spending time outside, and spend time with family, with children, read good books, go for meditation, practice yoga, engage yourself in such social service. That is very, very important. When you do seva or service, that is equivalent to worshipping the God. You will have ample of satisfaction when you engage yourself in serving the society rather than earning only for yourself. Earn money, no problem, but distribute to the needy people. That is called seva. You will have a lot of satisfaction by giving it to people. You are in a state of begging, nobody will relish us, nobody likes. So therefore, we should develop that an attitude and control your senses. Don't be over jealous to accumulate wealth. Don't be hurry and what is called as run with a speed to make money. Have contentment, have satisfaction with what you are. And the practice of yama and niyama of yoga comes into picture here. What are yama and niyama? Maybe you are all aware very clearly the yama and niyama, how they are very, very important in maintaining our everyday health and other things. Shaucha, Sukha, Santosha, Swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha, all these things. Okay, if you practice yama and niyama of yoga, that really becomes the Jivana Shaili or lifestyle, and that should be our practice every day. And once you practice perfectly the yama and niyama, certainly you develop such an immunity, you develop such a confidence, you develop such a mental state to face any problems, any challenges in your life. Not only confined to what is known as this COVID-19. And also you must respect to the seasonal changes. You know, seasons, there are 6 seasons, but in the West they consider only 4 seasons. Okay, it's something like summer, winter, rainy season, and pre-winter, autumn season, like that. So whenever there is change from one season to another season, no doubt these epidemic diseases and the pandemics, they become very virulent. So therefore, during change of season also, you should be very, very careful, and you should follow the diet. And remember, when I say about this practice and the diet, fasting is very, very important. At least half a day in a week, once morning, another next week half a day in the evening time. That gives you rest to your entire digestive system, and your fire, internal fire that is there in the stomach, that becomes very strong. See, we give rest to everything. Sunday we declare holiday, and even Saturday we declare holiday, and we give rest to machines, we give rest to computer. But do we give rest to this system? We don't give. And especially on Sundays and Saturday, we engage ourselves into different parties, celebrations, ceremonies. No, but you give rest one day, at least half a day rest will definitely rejuvenate your system, and surely it will help you. And during this pandemic situation, another most important aspect is gargling with warm water and oil pulling. Put some coconut oil or sesame oil into the mouth and do this vigorous pulling. That may help you to reduce the viral load, because it is said that the viruses do not multiply much in the media of oil, and people do recommend steam inhalation and drinking warm water. All these things definitely would help. They are all supplementary or complementary, but the main thing is you should develop good immune system by taking vaccination. That is compulsory. And regarding vaccination, do not have ambiguity. Any vaccine for that matter, whether Covishield, Covaxin, or Pfizer made, or Moderna, whatever the brands, it makes no much difference. Whatever is available near to you, whatever is available at your place, you must take it. And in addition, you must practice this lifestyle. So ahara, vihara, vichara, achara, and vyavahara. And vyavahara is duties, that is your responsibilities and occupation. It also should be a very, very important. Don't sit 10 hours before the system and work. Okay, you must plan in such a way. In between, you must rest, you must stretch, you must do some exercise. Otherwise, definitely the sedentary habits will alter your metabolic activities and makes you a lot of stressful, and you become sleepless, and it results into the reduced immunity, and you become prone for many diseases. So like this, you have to streamline, and systematically we will have to plan our life. Otherwise, overnight you cannot develop the immunity. Coming to Ayurveda, you know, Ayurveda and yoga both are like the two faces of the same coin. They are with the same philosophy, same fundamental principles, and their applications too. In yoga, we talk about lifestyle more. In Ayurveda, we talk about lifestyle, plus we use some naturally available herbs within your surroundings, whatever that are available. It may be basilicum, it may be Vaithania, Ashwagandha, it may be ginseng, ginger, garlic, turmeric, neem, whatever that is available in your surroundings, we use them on a scientific basis. And we understand Prakriti. Ayurveda upholds the theory of Prakriti. Every one of us, we have a very specific Prakriti, either Vata, Pitta or Kapha, and based on that, the lifestyle is recommended. So, after having understood the Prakriti, we should practice yoga, we should eat our food, and we should take something like herbal teas, Ayurvedic decoctions, or Ayurvedic powders, whatever for that matter. But now, during this particular pandemic situation, after elaborative research, the government of India, Department of Ayush, has recommended 4 important herbs. One is called Ashwagandha, Withania somnifera. Second one is Amrita, that is Tinospora cordifolia. Third one is Pippali, that is long pepper or Piper longum. Fourth one is Madhuyashti, Glycyrrhiza glabra. It is also known as Indian licorice. If you make all these 4 herbs a chorus powder and make decoction by using 1 to 1.5 teaspoon, boiling in about 200 to 250 ml of water and reducing it to 1 glass, that is about 150 ml, then filtering and consuming morning and evening, it will boost your immune system. And there are few ready preparations available. One is called as Chavanaprash, which is made out of amla, also Indian gooseberry, which is very rich of vitamin C. That also has been proved to be very, very effective, not only in preventing infectious diseases, bacterial, but also it helpful for preventing viral diseases. And golden milk. Golden milk is cow's milk or any milk for that matter, 200 ml added with half a teaspoon of pure organic turmeric. That also been said to be very effective. So like this, using spices, Indian spices, as I mentioned already, pepper, ginger, long pepper, clove, turmeric, cinnamon, cumin. Okay. So all these things will virtually keep your body little warm. When your body is little warm means, it means there is lot of immune activity is going on, and that immune activity will protect you forever. So therefore, it is mandatory that we should modify our lifestyle depending upon the situation, and that lifestyle, whatever you do for one particular disease, will be definitely useful for many other diseases. And the present day problems like diabetes, hypertension, sleep disorders, all these for that matter are totally related to the lifestyle. The obesity for that matter, overweight, is a problem related to lifestyle. So let us have a systematic, meaningful lifestyle, and let us develop good immunity, and let us say goodbye to COVID-19. But we will not forget to take vaccine, because vaccine is the ultimate solution to exit COVID-19. But whatever the lifestyle or the herbal preparations, yoga, everything, they are supplementary, they are complementary, and they are useful not only to prevent, even if there is an infection, we can come out without any problems. With this, let us make a commitment that I make myself committed to see that I am totally protected from COVID by using all precautions. Point number 1. Point number 2, second commitment and the oath is, I will not spread the disease to other person. I will wear mask, social distancing, SMS. And third one is, I will convince people who are not convinced to take vaccine, because vaccine is the ultimate. And fourth one is, I will make a commitment, I will propagate this meaningful lifestyle of yoga and Ayurveda to the community. If we make all of us, we will be contributing to the society. Thank you very much. Namaskar. If there are questions, we will answer.
Thank you, Dr. Ramakrishna. As I said at the beginning, you gave us a great pleasure and opportunity to sum up this complex system such as lifestyle is, and give us tools how to handle it with it. And you are just one of the few people who can merge all these aspects into one and present us. So thank you on that. Are there any questions? Imate li pitanja za doktora? Čuli ste dakle različite aspekte.
Ja bih postavila jedno pitanje, ali bih te zamolila da ti prevedeš, jer ja dosta dobro razumem engleski, ali kada pričam malo sporije pričam pa da ne bih. Ovako, samo jedno kratko pitanje, za mene praktično. Slušala sam pažljivo naravno i mislim da sam dosta dobro razumela. Postoje ta pravila u ishrani i vreme jela i kako jesti, šta jesti i tako dalje. Međutim, ja skoro da uopšte ne jedem po tim pravilima i skoro da uopšte i ne živim baš sasvim po nekim pravilima. Isključivo se rukovodim, isključivo, ne baš isključivo, rukovodim se svojim osjećajem i sa obzirom na mojih 58 godina nisam imala bolesti, nisam ni COVID prošla, iako sam bila u mestima gde su ljudi oboleli, čak i na putu sam se zadesila kad je sve to kretalo, tako da ne znam da li je to, šta misli o tome. Znači, ne živim po tim nekim pravilima, jedem malo jer smatram da mi to najviše prija. Znači, jedem malo, jedem ono što imam potrebu da pojedem, ne jedem u tačno vreme, čak doručak skoro da nikada ne praktikujem već 3 decenije. I nemam problema sa zdravljem. Šta misli o tome?
Dr. Ramakrishna, we have one question or maybe dilemma to say so when you talked about some healthy food we should eat and some rules about our nutrition habits and so on, but lady said that she don't follow some such rules. She basically go on follow her instincts and inner feelings on food which she needs. She don't eat breakfast for almost 30 years and so on, and she is healthy, she's feeling fine. So what do you think about that?
See, as an individual, if she is practicing a system, that is good, no need to change. See, what is required is, especially in a pandemic situation, we require more nutritional diet. It should have all nutrients. Absolutely no problem. If she is skipping her breakfast and not taking it, if she is adjusted, absolutely no worry. She can continue her practice. But at the same time, in her diet, it is better to add whatever I said, little locally available nuts, fruits, vegetables, whatever that is available. But if she has the habit of only taking lunch and a dinner, if she is not taking breakfast, that is good. No need to change her regular pattern. But at the same time, during this pandemic situation, we require more of proteins. Seeds, for that matter, pumpkin seeds, watermelon seeds, almonds, cashew nuts, okay, raisins. So like that, little changes has to be done, and little spices are very good actually. Spices like ginger, cumin, okay. So no need to change her whatever she has practice of taking the food. Let she continue.
I'm vegetarian all my life.
Good, very good. That is good. Yes. Vegetarian is really good.
Yes, all my life. All life I'm vegetarian.
Go green.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
use good milk. Milk is good. Ghee, butter ghee. How to prepare ghee, ghee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ghee is very good.
Thank you. Thank you.